Well, hello everyone and welcome to another late fall episode here on the MIgardener channel. So today I'm going to be answering a question that I get so frequently that I decided to make a video on it. I've done a lot of videos on pruning blueberries, but I want to make this video specific for all types of berries. So whether or not it is grapes, whether or not it is blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, even your orchard, peach trees, anything that you want to prune, make sure that you wait till it is fall time. And that's why I chose to do today, to do this video, because it is the perfect time to do this video. Obviously you have the absolutely gorgeous red flower or red leaves on these blueberries. They are just so pretty in the fall time. And I'm telling you what, if you want a plant that is going to look beautiful year round, make sure you plant some blueberries. It gives food to the birds if you don't even eat them, and it looks great in the fall time. It's better than a burning bush because it actually can provide you food, and it has the exact same color as a burning bush. And it's almost just about as long too. The leaves stay red for just about as long as a burning bush, but that's beside the point. So what we're going to do today is we're going to prune these back, because many perennial trees such as peaches, blueberries, grapes, blackberries, raspberries, they only fruit on new growth. So having this growth here this year was great, but next year it won't do me any good as far as fruiting goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prune them. Now, general rule of thumb is you do not want to prune any more than 10% of the branch back. So each branch can be pruned, but you don't want to prune any more than about 10% of that branch. So divide it up into tenths and trim that off. That's going to ensure that it's going to send out new growth. Now, if you're going to be pruning the whole plant, let's say it gets too tall, then the general rule of thumb is no more than 25%. But this plant here still has lots of room to grow, and I want to encourage that growth without stressing out the plant too much. So we're going to cut off about 10%. That's going to ensure that the plant knows it's being pruned. It's going to redirect energy into other branches. Those branches will fruit next year, and it will also encourage more growth in different directions instead of having one very long, lanky branch that won't be doing anything for us. So again, this applies to berries specifically. So whether or not it is a grape, whether or not it's a blackberry or a blueberry or a raspberry or a huckleberry, whatever, I don't even know the other kind of berries. If it's a berry and it's kind of a bushy, viney type, it will apply, and it will always benefit from being pruned. Even if it's a plant that still can fruit, for instance, apples. If you want to apply this to apples, make sure to prune them in the fall. It will be better for you. It will provide better results, and also it just stresses out the plant less because it's already going dormant. So in the springtime when it wakes up, it'll send energy up and it'll say, whoop, that's a dead end. Rather than having it growing and say, you know what, you're in the middle of growing, bye. You know, it's gonna really not like that as much. So let's get to this pruning. So we have this branch here, and we want to make sure that we prune off about 10%. Now it does have a fork right here. I like this fork, and I want to keep that. See how the leaves are just falling off because it's time for them to fall off anyways. So I'm going to prune right here, just prune off that little bit. Now I'm going to come over to this branch right here, and I'm going to prune just about 3 leaves down. So now I have that branch there, and it did fork there. Now I have this very long branch here, very long. It's doing nothing for me, and it's about 3 feet long. Comes from here down to here. This branch will not fruit next year. It's an old branch, so I want to take it down about to here. There we go. Take off about 6 inches or so, 5-6 inches. This branch here, this is new growth, but I want to make sure that it does not get too lanky. See, it starts all the way down at the base. All the way down, it comes all the way up. This branch needs to be trimmed, otherwise it's going to remain lanky. So I'm going to come by here, prune that off. Now, what I'm going to do over here is just prune that little bit off, because again, 10%, you just want to make sure, like this branch right here that was very long and lanky, I did the 25% rule for this branch, whereas, you know, some of these branches I'm only doing 10% because they're already forking, they look really nice, and I don't want to prune off, you know, a whole ton of it. I just want to prune off a little bit. This branch right here, beautiful branch, but I don't want it going out much longer because otherwise it's going to get top heavy, it's going to snap, it looks bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off 10%, just about that many leaves. And now it's going to redirect that energy. It's going to stay nice and shrubular, if that's a word. I know I've used it in the past, but we're going to continue to use it here. Here's another really good example. You have way down there. This is about 3 feet long. I'm going to come by here. I'm going to prune off about that much. You know, really no science. Just make sure it's about, you know, 10, 25%. It's not going to really be that picky, but you just want to make sure you don't stress out the plant all that much. Also, make sure you have really sharp pruners. That is such a big problem that I see people doing all the time. They'll kind of hack into it and break it and bend it. That's not going to do anything for you. Also, when you prune, make sure you prune on an angle. Make sure the pruners are on an angle. Don't prune it like this, prune it like this. That way, when water sets on the top, it leads to root rot a lot less, and it also can send a shoot out the side as well to keep growing. And that will prevent anything from happening to your plant that will result in the death of the plant, because you do want to prune smart when you do prune. So there you go. We've pruned our blueberry plant. It is ready to go for the springtime. We should have lots of blueberries on this, and it's going to do very well for us. So until next episode, this is Luke from MIgardener, hoping you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new, and also I hope you're growing big or going home. Make sure to check out our Facebook page. Also make sure to check out all our other how-to guides on MIgardener.com, because I know there are a lot that people have not seen yet. So make sure to check them out, and I'll catch you all later. See ya. Bye.